Since I was a child, I've always had a strong passion for art. When I was 7, I asked my mom to bring me to Rome to visit Roman ruins, in Egypt to see the ancient temples, and in Florence to admire all the Renaissance paintings. Of all the museums, my favorite one was of course the Uffizi Gallery in Florence, and I used to drag around with me everywhere I went a massive Uffizi catalogue. But why am I here today to talk about my childhood and my passion for art at a Tech Talk? On the 25th of October 2018, the portrait of Edmond Bellamy has been sold at Christie's in New York for $432,000. So far, nothing so special, right? But what if I tell you that this portrait is the first painting ever sold in an auction to not be created by a human, but by a machine? The selling of this portrait signaled the arrival of artificial intelligence in art and established the existence of a pulsing market ready to buy artificial intelligence art at a stunning price of nearly 45 times its initial estimate. As an art lover, the arrival of artificial intelligence in the auction stage made me wonder about the essence of creativity, of the art itself, and of the interactions among humans and machines. The first question that I asked myself was, can we truly consider these artificial intelligence machines creative? And if so, what's the role of the artist? And finally, if creativity has always been a human prerogative, what is then left to the role of the artist and to characterize humans and humanity? Before jumping into this question, let me take a step back to the Edmond Bellamy painting and how it was created. This portrait is just one of a group of portraits of the fictional Bellamy family created by a Paris-based collective called Obvious. This collective is engaged into the exploration of interaction among humans and machines, artificial intelligence, and art. They created an algorithm that has been fed with 15,000 portraits painted between the 14th and the 20th century. The machine learning that they use, which is called GAN, which stands for Generative Adversarial Network, then uses two algorithms to create new pictures. The first algorithm is called Generator and is actually the one that is creating new pictures, mimicking the characteristic of the training dataset. The aim of this algorithm is to fool the second algorithm, called Discriminator, into let them thinking that the pictures that has just created are actually real-life portraits. The role of the discriminator is to spot this picture and to reject them. The generator then trains itself until no difference can be made by the discriminator and it's finally fooled. The Paris-based collective Obvious is not the first one to use artificial intelligence to create art. There is a new subfield of artificial intelligence that is exploring this subfield, which is called Computational Creativity. Computational creativity software, which comprehends something like GAN, behaves in a very similar pattern to human creativity and can be used for autonomous creative tasks, such as composing music, writing poems, discover mathematical theories, and of course painting pictures. So if these machines can simulate the human creativity, I couldn't help but wonder, can we consider this machine truly creative? To answer this question, let me give you a widely accepted definition of creativity. A creative idea is a novel and valuable combination of known ideas. So let me ask you, do the pictures created by the machine respect this characteristic? Indeed, the machine creates something novel, something new that has never seen before. And if we all agree that it is the market that determines the value of an object, the machine is indeed creating something extremely valuable for both the art world and the society, as we saw through the selling of the Edmond Bellamy painting. Finally, these paintings are created through the combination of existing paintings. So, even though the machines emulates the human creativity, we need to understand that even us, as humans, we don't create anything from the emptiness. Even us, when we create new ideas, we actually use a finite data set, and that comes from our own past experience, our cultural heritage, and our historical heritage. And we build these new ideas through reasoning and analogy. And these two actions can indeed be replicated by a computer. So if computers can create novel and variable ideas, what is then the role of the artist? Artificial intelligence is not the first technological innovation that impacted the art world and the role of the artist. When photography erupted into the art scene, photography wasn't considered art at all, and photographers weren't considered artists either. Actually, the luckiest ones were considered lazy artists. The reason why photography wasn't considered art is that the mechanical device, the camera, was supposed to do all the job, and little or no room was left to the photographer's creativity. However, nowadays, there's no doubt that photography, despite its enormous variety of uses, is considered a fine art, and photographers fine artists. The camera has created a new kind of art, and this has been added to the toolset of the artist. We can think about artificial intelligence as photography was taught at the beginning. The algorithm recursively and independently creates new pictures as the camera captured the reality surrounding the photographers. However, if we think about the whole process, there is always a human in the loop. There is a human writing the algorithm, there is a human carefully selecting the pictures, and there is a human controlling the outputs. The entire process is a collaboration between two artists, a physical one, a human one, and a machine. The entire process is art and not just the final picture presented to the public. So if machines can act as creative partner of the human artist, under which aspect the human differs from the machine? There is something that is missing from this entire picture, something that the machine will never be able to replicate: the intention. Machine can perform highly sophisticated tasks, but they will never know why they execute. Machine may create appealing images, but they live in an isolated creative world that lacks of social interactions and context. Human artists, on the other hand, are inspired by people, places, and ideals, and they create art to tell stories and to make sense out of the world. For me, art is a concrete and tangible reflection of the world and the time in which we live in. An open confrontational dialogue between the artist and the changes in the society. In an era where the majority of population is digital native, learning to make art out of technology is a natural progression, a sign of acceptance towards the worlds we created. The adoption of technological innovation allows the artist to communicate brand new messages regarding our present and to imagine our future. As humans, we don't have to be scared of the technological innovation. We just need to embrace them and use them to create something that today we cannot even imagine. There's no doubt that artificial intelligence will become the new medium in art. Artificial intelligence will allow the artist to explore something that today we cannot even imagine. Thank you.